What's up, everyone? Welcome to Vinyl Thoughts. My allergies are kicking my ass today, but you know what? I'm not gonna let that keep me from bringing you all the metal. I feel like it's my duty at this point. So, what we're doing this week is we are continuing what we started on the last Vinyl Thoughts. I went through the first half of my Anthrax collection. All of the shit from the 80s was covered in that video. I'll put a link to that video down below. But I realized I actually forgot something from that first half, and it is this. The UTFO Anthrax Split EP. UTFO is a 80s hip-hop group, and of course Anthrax. And you don't hear about this that much, and for good reason, because it's pretty fucking cheesy. The guitar riff is kind of like, what? And then Joey Belladonna kind of sing rapping at one point is, I mean, it's worth listening to. And if you're an Anthrax collector like me, it's a pretty nice gem. But so yeah, the song is called Lethal. Other side is just a UTFO song without Anthrax. But yeah, this is I think it was 86 or something like that when this came out. So this is around the time that they would have been doing I'm the Man as well. So it's just one of those things. Anyway, I left that out last time, and I think it's important to talk about just because it's such a nice little Anthrax gem that you don't really hear about it very much. So what we're doing today, though, we're moving into the 90s, starting with 1990. Let's do it. 1990 brings us to Persistence of Time. Fucking amazing album. I don't really need to say much about it. Cool little back sleeve there. This is a European pressing of this from 1990. And it's one of my favorite Anthrax albums. It's the last with Joey Belladonna before he split with them. Yeah, there you go. Island Records. This album is just one of those ones that I totally loved it back in the day, and it's really sort of held up and actually gotten stronger as an album to me. Yeah, it's just fucking killer. There's so many great tracks on it. Moving on, in 1990, we have the Got the Time 12-inch single. This one has obviously Got the Time. And then I'm the Man, the illest version ever. It's just another live version of I'm the Man. And then Who Put This Together, which is kind of a weird dance mix of Anthrax. I don't know. I think Charlie Benante did it. And there's a beat, and then he puts riffs from Anthrax songs and other shit. Just sort of, I don't know. It kind of goes nowhere. But, it's one of those things that's like cool to have. Also, this particular version of this 12-inch is a poster 12-inch. So it opens up. Let's see if I can do this. All right. There you go. The Anthrax dudes. Pretty cool little poster of Anthrax. Yeah. And then all the rest of it has just got like, the album cover and back cover. Really, it's got all the same shit that you find inside the Persistence of Time album. And it's pretty cool. I mean, like I said on the last video, I like getting these EPs that just have little bits that, you can just add to the collection. So yeah, there you go. The Got the Time 12-inch. Next up, we have the In My World 12-inch. This one is a picture disc, and I kind of dig it because it's got the clock from Persistence of Time on it. And then it literally only has In My World and Keep It in the Family, both album versions. So you're not getting anything new here, but you are getting a pretty fucking cool picture disc, if I may say so myself. So yeah, that is the In My World 12-inch. Moving on to 1991, Attack of the Killer Bees. Collection of B-sides, hence the bees everywhere. Get it? So yeah, this is a European pressing of this. I don't think this was even released on vinyl in the US. It's the last release with Joey Belladonna, although it's all, older shit, live songs, B-sides, cover songs. It's a really fun listen. Yeah, I still put it on a lot to this day just because as a collection of B-sides goes, It's actually pretty enjoyable. So yeah, Attack of the Killer Bees. Let's move on. Bring the Noise. Obviously, the song that they did where they took the Public Enemy song and did their shit over it. So this is a 12-inch of this, which has Bring the Noise. And then Keep It in the Family Live is the same version that's on Attack of the Killer Bees. And then I Am the Law 91 is actually a remix of the original I Am the Law from Among the Living. And honestly, I kind of like it because they took the really dry vocals that are on that album and they added a little more presence, a little more, I guess a little bit of reverb. I don't really know. I'm not that technical of a person. I just know that overall, the remix of this song kind of sounds a little bit better. Almost makes me wish that they would do a version of Among the Living totally remixed that way. Not that I don't love the original. I absolutely do. You know this. So yeah, once again, more island logos. Nothing fascinating going on here. So yeah, that is the Bring the Noise 12-inch. So now we skip over to 1993. Joey Belladonna is gone. Enter John Bush. And then they release The Sound of White Noise. I personally really like this album. It is my favorite with John Bush. And it's also the last album with Dan Spitz, although I've heard that he actually contributed to the next album also. But anyway, this is, once again, European, I think German pressing of this. Wasn't released on vinyl in the US. But also, if you look, there's a glaring omission. Black Lodge is not on the vinyl version of this album. I think they did reissue versions where they include Black Lodge, but not on this one. But, you know, that's okay because I got some Black Lodge coming for you. So yeah, there's the dudes. I remember when this album came out, and I was greatly anticipating it, and I struggled with it a little bit, like I think some people did. But very quickly it grew on me, and it's one of those ones that I just keep going back to over and over again. Yeah, John Bush is killer. Anyway, Sound of White Noise. Up next, Black Lodge, 12-inch EP picture disc. This has 4 different versions of Black Lodge. It has the album version, but it also has Black Strings mix, Tremolo mix, Mellow to the Mad mix, which, to be fair, there's very little differences in them. It's just little things like, you know, they took some instruments out from here, they accentuated instruments there. Yeah, this was around the time I think Anthrax was trying to get into that whole we're not just a metal band, we do remixes and shit. So there you go. Not the best picture disc in the world, but you know, it's pretty cool. And then on the back, Anthrax, another little picture of Anthrax on the back. So yeah, Black Lodge 12-inch. Let's move on. As if you couldn't get enough Black Lodge action, now I've got the Black Lodge 10-inch limited edition remix EP. This one actually has 2 versions of Black Lodge, which I think are also both on that 12-inch, and then 2 versions of Potter's Field. The big thing with this is that it's a 12-inch, not a 12-inch, a 10-inch. What did I say? Did I say 12-inch before? I was wrong. This is actually 10 inches. Yeah. So I always dig getting 10 inches because bands don't put out a lot of 10 inches. That seems like a thing of the past. And so it's one of those things where I had to grab it because it's a 10-inch and 10-inch, 10-inch, 10-inch. I'm just going to keep saying that over and over again. Anyway, moving on. The High Pro Glow 12-inch. They went kind of crazy with the singles and stuff on this album, it seems. So yeah, great. First of all, great picture of the band on the back. Look at Charlie's hair. Look at that hair. Anyway, so yeah, High Pro Glow. This is a couple of different versions. No, actually, it's just a remix and then the LP version. And then Room for One More Live, which is kind of cool because there's not a lot of recorded or professionally released John Bush era live shit. And so this is pretty cool. I believe this was released as a tour promotional 12-inch to where you bought it at shows or whatever. In Europe, obviously, not in the U.S. It's unfortunately around that time in the U.S. records were no longer cool. Obviously, it's come back, not fully, but it's here. Obviously, I'm talking about them. Anyway, moving on. So, unfortunately, I don't have Stomp 442 or Volume 8 on vinyl. They're both, well, Volume 8's never been released on vinyl. Stomp 442, it's a little bit pricey. One day I'll get it and I'll share it with everybody, but I don't at this point. And then even this one, We've Come For You All, which is the last album with John Bush. This is actually not an OG pressing, although OG, when you're talking about an album from the 2000s, seems silly. But this is a repress. It's on black vinyl. I'm not really going to talk much about it. It's a pretty good album, not my favorite John Bush album, and it's a repressing. I got it just to... Woo, you hear my voice there? I got it because I'm collecting all the Anthrax shit I can get. So, yeah, there you go. Let's move on. And then Joey Belladonna comes back. Worship music. A great return to form, in my opinion. I'm not reviewing albums on this video, just showing you shit. There's a lot of great songs on here. This is I honestly don't even remember what year pressing this is, if this was actually from the year that it came out or not. It's soon after, but this is a pretty cool colored vinyl. Sort of a, white with green and blue spatter. That's kind of cool. Anyway, yeah, worship music. Let's quickly move on. And since we're getting into this newer shit, I feel like it's not quite as special, so let's just move along. Next up, we have the Anthems EP, which is just a collection of cover songs that, honestly, this is probably the one thing Anthrax has put out that I can give or take. It's kind of enjoyable, but I don't go back to it very often. The vinyl, on the other hand, is pretty cool. I like that kind of shit, the clear spatter vinyl. But yeah, Anthrax, Anthems, moving on. Next up, For All Kings, the second album after the return of Joey Belladonna. It's got this cool little slip thing going on. It's like clear, and you get the artwork on the inside, which I totally dig this album art, and I also really dig this album. Yeah, you could go back to my Anthrax ranking video. I'll put that down below too. I talk about the things that I like about these albums and shit. Oh yeah, this one comes with a slip mat for your record player, but I don't use this one mostly because I get so much like modern colored vinyl that sometimes you're just seeing an image through your vinyl, and I don't know, kind of lame. Especially when you get cool colors like this one. So this is another spatter on yellow, which is, pretty cool. And I'm pretty sure the other record is exactly the same, although probably not exactly the same because of the process. I don't think it can be identical, but, and I think that this one, yeah, if you look, can you see that there's a star on that side? There's no content on this side. It's there you go. Boom. There's that little Anthrax star thing. So that's kind of cool. Anyway, yeah. For All Kings, fucking great album. Let's move on. Hey, guess what? I got a 7-inch. This is the Monster at the End 7-inch. This was a Record Store Day release. And the big thing about it was that it had the song Device of the People, which was an unreleased song at the time. Now you can just get it on Apple Music or Spotify or whatever. So not quite as special. But I don't even remember if this is colored or not. Looks like it is. Whoa, what is that? It's like purple and then some sort of a gold and purple on the other side. Pretty rad. And Vice of the People is a pretty good song. I totally see why it is the B-side and was left off of the album, because compared to the rest of the album, it's just pretty good. But that being said, that album's amazing, so anything related to For All Kings is pretty cool with me. Let's move on. We're almost done, folks, I promise. So, Kings Among what did I say? Kings Among Scotland. This is the live album they put out a couple years back. It's 3 LPs. It's fucking hard to do this shit, So look, photos of the dudes. And then I believe these are all, I'm not going to go through all 3, but these are all 3 different colored vinyls. One is red. One is purple. I don't know what the other one is. Let's find out. What's the color of the other one? What's the color of the other? It's blue. It's blue, folks. Nothing totally interesting. It's actually a pretty cool live recording. They play a lot of like a normal set list, and then the second half they play Among the Living in its entirety. And funny enough, like if you look, like, you know, there's Indians, their songs missing, and they're on a fourth side, which for some reason just isn't listed on the back of the album. Who knows? Secret, I guess. Anyway, moving on to the last one. Their most recent release is this one, the Indians' Sabbath Bloody Sabbath 7-inch that was put out. I believe the funds went to a charity of some sort, which I'm on board with. So, you know, I was going to buy it anyway, but you know what? I feel even better that I bought it. So yeah, it's two older recordings of Indians and Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, I believe from 1987. Let's look. Yes, 1987. You can see it right there. Look at there. But yeah, it's just a black vinyl 7-inch. Nothing too fancy there. But that is the last release that Anthrax has put out. Rumors of a new album this year. If so, you know I'm going to fucking get it. Hopefully it's as good. It could even be slightly not as good as For All Kings, and I'll still be happy with it. But if they manage to top that album, woo! All right. Anyway, if you've made it this far, I love you. You're amazing. Thanks for sitting through my shit. If you have any suggestions, well, I guess you guys don't know which bands I have a lot of vinyl for. I've got a few, and just put in your comments below if you want me to do more of these types of videos, or should I just stick with talking about one album every time? Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys again next time.